Hello? There we go. I'm running quite late today, aren't I? Hey, hey, everyone say hi as you're hopping on. Am I still here? I think I almost accidentally ended the live stream. Am I still here? Hi, Andrea. Hi, Paige. Okay, I think I'm still here. It was a false alarm. I almost ended the live stream. That would have been horrible. Okay, we have started the watch party. Hello again, Fiona. Had to stop the end of day 2 to catch this. Hey, Luna. Oh, thank you. Hey, Maria. How's everyone going? If you guys are, hey Emma, if you guys are watching on the watch party, feel free to come over to the business page so you can join the whole conversation or stay on the watch party if you want, but I feel like there are some things where Facebook, hey Leslie, is really lacking. I feel like they could definitely make this whole thing work smoother. Oh, sorry, Phoebe. Fiona, forever known as Phoebe, forevermore known as Phoebe. I was on a call with Fiona today, and I was calling her Phoebe the whole morning. And then I was like, oh, maybe I need to actually call Phoebe Kuhn and make sure she's okay, because I literally called Fiona Phoebe like 5 times. It was crazy. I feel like Facebook should get their shit together. I feel like they really should be able to, like, when you start a watch party, it should just put everybody all together in one comment thread and not have comments happening on the watch party and comments happening on the other thing. Like, I don't know. I still don't even know for sure what a watch party is, so it is what it is. I'm drinking fresh watermelon juice. I went downstairs and made, as part of why I was late, I was craving watermelon juice, so I went and made myself some, and it's delicious. Watermelon and lime. How are all the people? How's it going out there in the world? How are you guys enjoying the Alchemy of Money live stream event? Has everyone watched day 2? And did you watch me like completely lose my shiznit? I was like, after that, first of all, after that live stream was over, I was exhausted. Like, I had to, like, I didn't do anything for the rest of the day. I might have had a client after that. But like, partway through the afternoon, I just all of a sudden was like, oh, I know what happened. I had a 2-hour Indonesian lesson. So I had that live stream, and then I went directly into a 2-hour Indonesian lesson. My brain was completely, energetically, brain power wise, like in every way, I was just exhausted, and I just laid in bed for the rest of the day. Like, it was like so much crazy energy on that live stream yesterday, and I haven't had like a hot mess lose my shiznit live stream in a minute. So yeah, if you, who saw it? Who all saw the crazy day 2 live stream. Who has seen it? We talked about all the things. I got fired up. I got fired up about the causes that I'm passionate about. I'm not seeing any comments. You guys are just ignoring me? What's happening here? It's the delay probably, huh? Hey, Jillian. Hi, Casey. We were just talking about crazy day 2 of the Alchemy of Money live stream. Emma said she loved it. Diana was there. It was, I saw it for sure, it was crazy. It was awesome despite the interference. Yeah, the interference struggle was real for sure. But it was crazy. Hey, Heather Shannon, catching me live. That's amazing. Feel free to come and join us. Those that are watching the watch party, feel free to come and join us over on the business page if you want to join the full conversation. I'm sorry for anyone that didn't stay on to get you fired up. Oh my gosh, it was a sight to behold, I'm sure. I haven't watched it back. I was going to watch it back, but I'm not going to do it today because I'm energetically feeling good, and I know it was a lot of energy that moved through that live stream. And I do remember slamming my hands on the desk at one point though, and I was just like, I told the mastermind, like I went into my mastermind and I was like, yeah, so I feel like maybe you guys should go watch this live stream. It was a little crazy. That live stream did get a lot of views though, so I feel like a lot of people have seen it. So hey Heather. So as I have done the previous, or I did the previous day, the Mallory's sick, my assistant is sick, so I don't think it's been done yet, but we will be taking day 2 down off of Facebook. So if you haven't already watched it, it will be available on YouTube. And so we're moving the content over to, oh look, I'm getting a marriage proposal from Morad Raira. He's asking me if I accept his marriage proposal. Well, unfortunately, I'm already married, so I can't accept your marriage proposal, but I appreciate the offer. Just a regular, Wednesday in Leah land, marriage proposal, live stream marriage proposal. Hey, Anya. So if you have not already registered for the event, make sure that you do, because you will get emails with the replays. I was laughing because several people unsubscribed from my email list yesterday after receiving the replay of day 2, which is exactly what we want, right? I was in there today, like looking at, I'm handling all the automation for this on my own, which normally I don't do, but I'm handling all the automation for this on my own. We have a new system, and so I'm kind of trying to learn how to use it. We're using ActiveCampaign. We moved over to ActiveCampaign from MailChimp, and so I've been doing the automation and kind of tracking everything and looking, and like it's when you log in, when I log into campaigns or to contacts. Yeah, to contacts. So I was checking to see how many people were in the automation for this series, and on the right you can see like it gives you like this running total of like unsubscribes, and it was like right after my email went out yesterday, it was like unsubscribe, 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 unsubscribe. And I was like, well, that's one way to cull the audience and get rid of the people that aren't down for your message, right? So it is what it is. But if you have not registered, if you've not, okay, we probably need to get rid of this guy. I don't know how though. I don't know how without getting out of the, oh my gosh, Casey, yesterday was bananas. Oh, he's saying goodnight, so I guess we don't have to remove him. I am going to drop you guys the link though to register for the event if you haven't already, because you'll get the replays, you'll get the links to the replays, so you're not having to like search all over the interwebs for them, and then you'll get the schedule. So these 3 days, we did 3 days in a row. We're actually taking a break, taking a day off tomorrow. It's my day off, and we'll be back on Friday with the next live stream. With day 4. And then we'll take a day off on Saturday, and we'll be back on Sunday with the final live stream. So here is the link. If you have not already registered for the event, you definitely want to do that. The other reason why you absolutely want to register for the event is that I'm gifting everyone that registers my Mystical Manifestation series, which is one of my best-selling courses. It's a 5-module series on the universal laws of manifestation and all of my top tools and tips for rapid manifestation, tips and tools that actually work. So my free gift to you if you register, so definitely click the link, do the thing. Register for the event, get all of the information. So we'll send you, so like if you register today, you'll get the welcome, thanks for joining email, and then you'll get the emails with the links for the replays with like a little summary of what each day was about. And then you'll also receive the instruction email on how to get your free gift from me. If you haven't received the instruction email from me yet on how to get your free gift, just go into your search bar and search Leah at theleahsteele.com, and the email should definitely just come up there. So I know a couple people were saying yesterday that they've received one of the emails, but they haven't received the follow-up email with the free gift. Just search your inbox because it's an automation. So if you received the first email, then you're just in an automation. You automatically got the second email an hour later. So let me know, and then you can definitely email if you're still unable to find it. You can definitely email support@theleahsteele.com, and they will get you sorted. So that's that. So yeah, quite the live stream. I was super fired up yesterday. I don't know how I'm going to top that today. But one of the things I wanted to talk about is personal alignment and the role that it plays in money alchemy and the role that it plays in calling in and creating abundance in our lives. And I think this is something that like we really, really take for granted. The first person that we generally fall out of alignment with is ourself. And it's because we're the person closest to us, right? So it's easiest to break commitments to ourselves. It's easiest to, not do the things for ourselves that we've committed to doing. We're the person that always gets the shortest stick. And so, but the interesting thing about this is that we actually cannot be in a state of creation and manifestation if we're out of personal alignment with ourselves. So that means that like when we break our commitments to ourselves, when we aren't following through with the things that we've laid out that we know that are going to best support our whole body, right? Body, mind, spirit, 5 bodies, mental, emotional, energetic, spiritual, physical. When we're not following through with the things that we know we need to be doing to stay in personal alignment, it is impossible to create long-lasting abundance in our life. And this is a piece that I think that we just forget about. And so I really want to encourage you to begin to look at the areas of your life where you've fallen out of alignment with yourself. It was interesting because yesterday I just was so tired, and then I went out of my Indonesian lesson and tried to go into a call with my video editor about some changes that we're making to YouTube, and I just was like, my brain wasn't working. First of all, like I'd expended so much energy on that live stream, and then I had gone and studied Indonesian for 2 hours with my tutor who was here, and I just wasn't in a good place, but I was like so frustrated, and nothing seemed right. Nothing seemed like it was going right. I was like on the verge of tears. I was like, I'm sick of my brand. Like, I don't like how anything looks. And that's not really like me. And I know I love my brand, and I like know everybody's doing an amazing job that's on my team, but I just was really like exacerbated and not feeling well. And so I spent a little bit of time journaling after that and asking myself like, okay, asking myself this question, where have I fallen out of alignment with myself? And the first thing that came up was like, once again, I've gotten myself into a place where like, I'm not taking any days off, and like not taking any days completely off. Like, I've been squeezing clients in on off days. I've been doing live streams on off days. I've been like basically working every single day without having a day to completely just reset. And so I'm tired, like energetically, I'm just feeling really tired and really exhausted. And I'm coming off of this 2-week like removals diet. I've really been like showing up and supporting my physical body really, really well. But my energetic body and my emotional body, I have fallen out of alignment. And as a result, like my incoming revenue has been affected. Not horrendously, I'm still on track to have an amazing month this month, but it's like, I can feel it. I can feel that my manifestation ability, my creation ability, my magnetism is off, because I'm off, because energetically I've been breaking commitments to myself that I've been keeping to myself. Which one of those is that I have 2 full days off a week. So I've been breaking commitments to myself. I've been not following through on things that I know I need to do. Like my Muay Thai trainer's brother died. And so I haven't trained Muay Thai for 3 weeks. And I've sort of just let that slide. So while I've been supporting myself really well nutritionally, like I haven't been moving my body. I haven't been doing the physical exercise that I know I require to be in full alignment with myself. And so I spent some time, and I realized, I was like, okay, well, what would feel really good to be in this moment? Like, what would feel really good for me so that I could fully get back into alignment with myself? The first question I asked myself was around the time off. And so I went through my calendar between now and August, and I have my 2 days off that are scheduled, and I reaffirmed my commitment to myself that I'm not gonna put people on those days. I'm not gonna squeeze things in. I'm not gonna schedule people on those days. I'm gonna take them off. And then I also added every other weekend having Saturday and Sunday off, having a full weekend off. I haven't done this for a really long time. And when I think about doing it, I'm like, oh, my schedule doesn't permit that. Like, I have immediate resistance to it. And I'm like, my schedule doesn't permit that. I've got too much going on. I've got, Ouroboros is launching. I'm going to be spending a fair amount of time in there every week. Like, I just don't have time. It's bullshit. I do have time. I absolutely have time to take 3 days off a week. And I should be taking 3 days off a week. I didn't build this business to be a slave to it, right? I built this business so that I could have freedom. And so I booked through August every other week, Saturday and Sunday off, plus my regular Thursday off. So, and I just made that commitment to myself in that moment yesterday. And it felt so good. And I felt this like almost immediate relief. And I woke up this morning feeling so good. So now today I get to look at my physical body exercise, because I'm not sure when my trainer's going to come back. He's really dealing with like some pretty sad grief. And so I don't know when he's going to be back, but that's not an excuse for me not going and getting the physical exercise that I need to get. So today, I have this live stream, and then I don't have anything else until 4 o'clock. So I'm going to go get myself a really amazing, healthy lunch, and I'm going to sit down, and I'm going to lay out for myself what my new commitments are to supporting my physical body as far as movement goes. So that's the thing I'm going to tackle today. There's some other places where I've fallen out of alignment with myself, but I'm not going to sit down and like try to like flush it all out in one day. I identified what the areas were yesterday, and now, once a day for about probably the next 5 days, because I identified like 5 areas where I want to focus, where I've fallen out of alignment, where I feel like it's affecting my ability to like show up as the best me that there is, in full alignment with myself and the divine that exists inside of me and outside of me. So today it'll be this, and then I'll do a little bit every day until I've got this plan in place and I'm executing on it, as I've planned. And we're human beings. Like, it's human nature to do this, to put ourselves last, or to, break commitments to ourselves. And so it does sometimes require this just like coming back to center, coming back to reminding ourselves how important this is. And, for the purpose, this is just important in life in general, right? This is important to be a whole being, to be like the best being on this planet that you can be, is to be in full alignment with yourself. But I don't think people understand how impactful this is when it comes to money, wealth, prosperity, and abundance. When we are denying ourselves of full, whole alignment in our life, it is like we're telling ourselves that we're not worthy. So when I know that something's in alignment for me, if I know that if me showing up in a certain way gives me my best opportunity to live the life I deeply desire, to create my heaven on earth experience, and then I deny myself of that, I'm sending a reinforcing message to myself that I'm not worthy, that I'm not worth it, that I'm not good enough to keep those commitments to myself, that I'm not worthy of having a heaven on earth experience, that I'm not worthy of having everything that I deeply desire. And then it's damn near impossible to manifest or create or do any kind of alchemy when I'm sitting in a place of I'm not worthy of it. And this is why we see so many people where it's just like they'll start to get into alignment, and then they'll start to have some successes in their life and their business, and then they'll fall out of alignment, and then that will stop, right? And it isn't this thing where it stops right away. I talk a lot about like a journaling practice. This is another area where I've fallen out of alignment. Though, since I started reevaluating this alignment piece, like I've actually journaled. I journaled Sunday, I journaled Monday, yesterday. So I've journaled 3 days in a row after like falling off for a long time. Creation journaling, and journaling is a huge part of what I do to create wealth alchemy in my life. I firmly am a firm believer. You guys have heard me say this a million times. If you've been following me for a long time, if you're new to me, this might be new, but I'm a firm believer in the word abracadabra. Abracadabra literally translates as I speak, I create. I take that one step further and say, as I think, I create, as I speak, I create, and as I write, I create. And so this to me is like, it is my this is my non-negotiable wealth alchemy practice. Journaling, creation journaling every fucking day. And the power of repetition, the power of continuing to put out into the universe that which I desire to magnetize and call to me, right? And this one is tricky because it takes a period of time to build up to seeing results from creation journaling, right? And then we see the results, and then human nature is, oh, I've got the results now, I'm gonna back off of it, I'm not gonna do it. Well, what happens is, it's not that you have an instant reversal of what you've created, it still keeps going on for a minute, and then it starts sliding back downhill, and before you know it, you're back to where you started, and you're like, oh my God, what happened? Well, what happened was I quit creation journaling. I quit putting out into the universe that which I wish to magnetize back to me. I quit telling the universe and directing the universe about what to deliver to me. When we're not communicating with the universe, when we're not communicating what our desires are, you're just gonna get whatever the universe decides to bestow upon you. And if you're okay with that life, then I guess that's fine. I'm not. I desire to be in control of my heaven on earth experience. I want to create it exactly as I desire it. And so in order to do that, I have to be specific. So, there's that old saying of like, you don't go into the Italian restaurant and say to the waiter when he comes up, I don't want spaghetti. No, you like order specifically what you want. And if you're me, it's like super specific, and the waiter's like inside his head rolling his eyes at you, and then they're probably spitting in your food in the back because you've been so specific about what it is that you want. But we can't get what we want when we don't ask for it. And we cannot create alchemy when we don't even know what we're dealing with. Like, that's why it's so important to know, okay, here's where I am. Here's where I am. I'm in this state, so it's an evaluation of what's your base metal, right? You're your base metal. Here, your current circumstances, your current financial circumstances are your base metal. It's what you're working with. So for me, I'm like, okay, here's where I am. I'm making X amount of dollars per month. Here's the state of my financial union, right? And I get really clear on that. How do I get clear on that? Usually through journaling. So here's my current existence, right? Here's my base metal. Here's what I'm working with. What do I desire to transmute it in? Then I get really clear on what I'm creating, what I want to create. For me, it's all about this heaven on earth experience. It's all about the life that I deeply desire. And that is it is lifestyle and experience driven. So most people would be surprised to hear that. My goals and my heaven on earth experience is not financially driven. It is lifestyle and experience driven. And it is also impact and change driven. So personally, it's like, what is my lifestyle and what are the experiences I'm having inside this lifestyle? And then on a grander scale, like me delivering my divine mission work, what am I here to do? I'm here to create big impact and I'm here to create change. So that's my goal. I'm transmuting from the base of where I currently am into these realities over here. Have to have clarity on where I am in order to create alchemy. Have to have clarity on where I'm going in order to create alchemy. So the first thing to do is get really, really clear on those two things. Where am I? Where do I want to go? And then aligning yourself to being the best you that you can be. Aligning yourself to putting out into the world the thoughts, feelings, actions that are the exact thoughts, feelings, and actions that will magnetize to you the reality that you want and that you desire. So journaling is a huge part of it. It really, really is. And yes, I have a creation journaling course. Luna just mentioned it's called the Boss Witch Creation Journaling Course. And it's $222, and it's a 7-module course that covers all of how I creation journal, including examples from my personal journaling. Like, it's a great, great course. You can find it on my website at www.theleahsteele.com. If you want more information on it, you can just go to offers, and it's definitely there in the offers section. It's a great course. Like, if you haven't done creation journaling in the past, if you don't fully understand how it works, it's really powerful, really, really powerful course. And it's definitely like Leah 101, like foundational material, because I'm always talking about journaling. It's why we did the course in the first place, because everybody was just like, we want to hear how you journal. I mean, literally like show pages of my journal. I read you sections of my journal. And there's some really, really impactful journaling exercises and then modules like on specific, like creating cold hard cash, calling in soulmate clients, on how I create courses. I actually have a course coming up next month called Launch With Me, that's going to take you through my whole entire process of how I launch courses. So that is coming up. Launch With Me, I'm excited. I was actually gonna run it. It was supposed to be running now as I was leading into the launch of Ouroboros, but we decided to run with the Wealth Alchemy book launch instead. So, okay, Paul, I think I answered your question. So anyone have questions on any of this stuff so far? I mean, it is actually such a simple concept, but something people don't understand how impactful it is in your life. When you are saying no to yourself, when you're breaking commitments to yourself, you're saying no to your soul, you're breaking commitments to your soul, to your divine self. You're literally saying to yourself, you're not worthy of me keeping a commitment to you. And it's like when we begin to fall out of alignment with ourselves, we start settling in so many other areas. Like when we're telling ourselves, you're not good enough for me to keep you're not worthy enough for me to keep my commitment to you and not break my commitment to you, then all of a sudden we start settling in all these other areas in our external environment and sometimes in our internal environment. But it's like, you know, you start dealing with and putting up with stuff that you normally wouldn't. And all of that stuff, one, takes up bandwidth, which we were talking about yesterday, takes up bandwidth, which takes away from you being able to create and manifest, right? When your bandwidth is filled up with like meaningless shit, you don't have you're not operating at your full manifestation and creation potential. And so it takes up bandwidth. Oh, I just lost my train of thought. So I was saying, when you're settling, yeah, I don't know, I lost it. What just happened? It's gone. Settling, what was I saying? We start settling, which pisses us off. So then it lowers our energetic vibration. So yes, it also takes up energetic bandwidth, which could be used for creation and manifestation energy, but instead is being like held up with, here's an example of this, right? And I've used this example before, so some of you may have already heard it. But when I first took an account of all the places that I was settling, which started with me breaking commitments to myself, right? Like this whole chain of events that I've told you about. But then I started looking at, okay, what's every area of my life where I've been settling? I realized that there was this, like, there were small things. Like I had just been dealing with so many small things. One of the things was that like my shower nozzle, you know how they get calcified? My shower nozzle, like the water wasn't coming out in like a constant stream. It was like, and then there was like two of the little like spigot things, I don't know what they're called, like the little, you know, there's like all the holes in the shower nozzle. Two of them were like shooting out. So they would like shoot in my eyes, or they would spray out. They were like spraying out all over like the floor of the bathroom, because the shower thing was like, two of them were like going like this. Then I had two that were like poking in my eye. It was like a huge mess, but I was dealing with it every day. And every day I was going to get in the shower, which by the way is one of the places that I receive divine guidance. So it's sacred to me. So every day for like, I don't even know, probably 4 or 5 months, I was getting in the shower, dealing with this thing, being pissed off, like getting in there, being mad that the shower was fucked up. Then getting out, then having to mop up the floor so I didn't fall, or Jack didn't fall because there was water on the floor, and just being irritated. So this shower thing, in addition to like lowering my fucking vibration every day because I'm getting in the shower and I'm irritated, I'm blocking my full capability and ability to receive divine guidance in the shower, which I receive almost every day. So I was blocking that. And then I was having to spend extra time cleaning up the floor, which was irritating me. But in addition to all of that, I was carrying this thing in my bandwidth about this shower nozzle that needed to be fixed. And I wasn't doing anything about it. And so it's like a computer program, right? It's like a tab that you haven't closed. It's literally in the back of my bandwidth, filling up this little hole with this shower nozzle needs to be fixed. This shower nozzle needs to be fixed. This shower nozzle needs to be fixed. Doesn't sound like as big of a deal when it's one thing, but it's never one thing. If you're settling in one area, you've got 250 other things that are filling up bandwidth. So now all of a sudden the bandwidth is completely full of meaningless bullshit that you could just fucking handle, right? It's like that stack of bills that you haven't opened. It's like that payment that you need to make to that person. It's whatever it is, right? Like whatever's filling up your bandwidth. So each thing that's taking space in your bandwidth is preventing you, like that space that's being taken up could be being used for manifestation and creation, flow of ideas, knowledge and wisdom, okay? So after I wrote this list, I was like, oh my God, this is insane. Like I can't believe, and in addition to all those things, it's lowering your vibration, right? It's fucking your vibration, it's lowering your vibration because it's putting you in an energetic state of irritation And maybe it's not even irritating. Maybe it's frustrating. Maybe it gives you a little bit of anxiety. Maybe it doesn't do any of those things, but it's taking up your energetic bandwidth, which isn't allowing you to be in a flow state, which fucks with your vibration. So I literally was like, I wrote this list out. I had like 15 or 20 things on my list, right? So I wrote this list. I was like, okay, I've got 15, let's call it 15. I've got 15 things on this list that are keeping up bandwidth, and all of them are so stupid. Like the littlest, teeny tiny littlest shit. So that day, I was like, there were 5 of them that I could like turn over to my house manager. It was literally this easy, you guys. I wrote, and I have a house manager, yes, I understand, but there's other ways to do this, right? It's like, block out an afternoon and fucking handle the shit. But I literally like sent a message. I looked at the things. I sent a message to my house manager. The next day I got in my shower and it had been fixed. Literally the next day I got in my shower and like none of that stuff happened, and I got in the shower and I was like, oh, and I had like amazing downloads, and I was like, oh my God, for 4 months I put myself through this. For 4 months I dealt with this. Do you know how crazy that is? Like I literally did this to myself by not being in alignment with myself, by not treating myself as if I am the most important person on this planet, which I am, and which you should be to yourself, right? Like I just settled. So within a week, I had every one of those 15 things taken care of. My next month was like fucking ridiculous, like explosive, off the charts. I made so much money. So this is a practice that I go through regularly, where I'm looking at, okay, where am I settling? Here's another example that you guys are gonna be like, whoa, this is crazy. So you know those articles of clothing that you have that don't fit quite right? This dress is actually one of them. It was interesting, I put this dress on today. And so the last 3 times I've worn this dress, I love this dress. I don't know what's happened to it. Either I'm shrinking or it's gotten stretched out, but it's like this much too long. And so I'm tripping over it a little bit when I'm walking. As I was walking down to get my watermelon juice this morning, I was like, I have to, when I take this dress off today, I have to give it to my house manager and be like, go take it and get it hemmed this much. The last 4 times I've worn it, I've thought the same thing. It's literally been taking up bandwidth. Even though I'm not thinking about the dress every day, energetically, my subconscious mind, it's there. It's running in the background. It's running in the program. So the articles of clothing that you need to get altered, or the articles of clothing that you need to get hemmed. But here is another really insidious one. You know that item of clothing that you put on all the time and it doesn't fit quite right, but you bought it and you spent money on it and you're like, oh, I'll just deal with it, right? And you put it on, but you know deep down that it isn't in full alignment with you. That article of clothing isn't in full alignment with you. It doesn't fit you right. It doesn't flatter you the way your clothing should. Like, you're literally settling. You're literally telling yourself you are not worthy of having only clothing that fits you perfectly. And you're taking up bandwidth, right? It's this little piece of something that's hanging there in the back of your closet. Yeah, and the same thing, like the pants you've had for 20 years that you're sure you'll fit into one day. It's why Marie Kondo stuff is so impactful. It's why people are like, oh my God, I cleaned out all my shit and all of a sudden I'm making all this money. Yeah, because you fucking cleaned up bandwidth that you're holding, like those programs that you're running in the back of your head, and now you've actually been free to create and manifest. So those shoes that don't fit you quite right, the pants that like squeeze you in the wrong place, like get rid of all that shit. Stop settling. Stop settling. Stop wearing articles of clothing that fit just okay, that there's something wrong with them. I'm trying to think if I have any other examples of that. I don't know. Nothing springs to mind. But it's huge. Like, this is a huge thing. Personal alignment is a huge thing. Personal, like, showing up for yourself and treating yourself as if you are the most important being on this planet, that is where we create from. That is where we manifest from. And you are the most important person on this planet to yourself. So you should start treating yourself accordingly. You are the divine. Like, you are a perfect expression of the divine on this planet. Treat yourself like it. Would you treat your creator the way you're treating yourself? Would you treat God the way you're treating yourself? Would you treat, you know, God, source, universe, all that is, whatever you call it? Would you treat I'll call it the divine? Would you treat the divine the way that you're treating yourself? Well, you are the divine. So in treating yourself that way, you are treating the divine that way. This, by the way, is probably one of my biggest tips and tools for quickly shifting and changing financial circumstances, is looking at these lists and tackling these lists and getting rid of anything on there that is not in alignment. So I want to open up for Q&A and questions about any of the stuff that we've talked about so far, or anything that we haven't talked about. Like, I wanted to give some space today. It's day 3. We're like now halfway through this live stream, little over halfway. We've got 2 more days left, right? But this halfway mark is the time that's like, okay, ask questions about what we've covered so far, and also ask me other questions. Ask me to like elaborate or riff on certain topics, because then I'll know what direction we should take in the second part of this live stream event. Ooh. Must have been good because my nose is itching, as it does. And if you're watching on the watch party, I have the comments pulled up so I can actually also answer you there and respond there. When you were with Michelle discussing about being a metal, can you expand on that? Yeah, so everybody has a constitutional factor, one of the 5 elements that is your weakest link. So it's your strength, it's your superpower, but it's also your weakest link. So mine is metal. I'm a metal constitutional factor in 5 elements, Chinese philosophy. So that's what we were talking about. And we have this amazing program, Becoming Immortal, and Immortal, 2 programs, Becoming Immortal and Immortal, that are coming out here in the next couple of months. You can definitely look for more information on that. But 5 elements philosophy, 5 elements Chinese philosophy, you can look up if you want more information on that. I took a leave of absence from my Muggle job yesterday because the more I know, the less I can tolerate the corporate life. And he thought, yeah, well, I mean, that's what happens, right? As we have our spiritual reawakening, as we start to, you know, especially this stuff that we've been talking about in this live stream event, the programming, as we start to wake up to it, the less tolerant we get of the bullshit and the programming and the control. So it's what happens. And the universe, God source, all that is, the divine, will make us hugely, hugely uncomfortable in old situations, because it isn't in our highest and best good for us to continue to maintain that lifestyle. So completely normal and regular, and unfortunately not going to get better. Like, I don't see you going back and being like, oh, all of a sudden I can deal with this again. It's probably going to get worse. Any other questions? You guys got nothing? You have no questions? I can't believe this. Like, I have these Q&As and I'm just like, what is happening, people? Like, you don't have any questions? You're just like, yep, I fully understand everything. Thanks. Or I just put you on the spot and you can't think of any. Do you journal in a flow? Well, giant piece of lime. So here's the thing, and this is part of what I talk about in the journaling course, obviously, but I am not a rule, like, I'm not a rule person. I'm not a dogma person. I'm not like there's a right way to do things or a wrong way to do things type of person. And so when I journal, it's in flow, like I'm in flow. And so sometimes I'm talking in the present tense, sometimes I'm talking in the future sense. For me, journaling, the purpose of the journaling is to raise my energetic vibration. It is to get myself into full alignment, which is what we're talking about here, right? It's like, what do I need to say, create, visualize, conceptualize, what kind of state do I need to be in to magnetize? Like, those are all the questions that I ask myself, and then I just allow whatever's coming through or needs to come through. So I don't really worry about tenses. I don't, and I may change them 3 times in a journaling session, right? Like, I don't really worry about that. It's more about getting the things out onto paper that are going to help me get into alignment, so that when I step away from the journal, I'm in energetic alignment with the thing that I'm creating. Getting a new job is not the answer. Well, listen, it may be the answer, because you may find a job that is in alignment with you. Those exist, right? You don't have to be self-employed, but going back into the same type of job that you've been in probably isn't going to serve you. Wait a few more minutes for any other questions. So I'm releasing the extended payment plan on Ouroboros today. And I always get really excited to do that, because though this program is a mid-level program, I want it to be able to be accessible for people. And so I always release an extended payment plan. So I am releasing that today. I have not updated the lead page yet, which I will be doing after this call, but I will tell you how much it's a 12-month payment plan. And yes, I will talk about that in 1 second. Okay, so the 12-month payment plan is $339 a month for 12 months. So, yeah. And I will give you guys the link to the sales page. And again, the extended payment plan's not up there yet, but it will be shortly after this live stream is over. Any advice on mantras or commands we can sit into and release attachment from the cloaking spell? Oh wait, I had one other one. Can you talk about aligning yourself to help heal your body? Yes, so the best thing I know to do for that is Joe Dispenza. So if you're not doing Joe Dispenza stuff, get on it. Oh my gosh, now I just lost. So Becoming Supernatural, read Becoming Supernatural or listen to the audiobook. I recommend reading the book because it has lots of charts and graphs in it, which is kind of hard to comprehend if you're doing the audiobook. What is my meditation? I need to look in my iTunes and tell you my favorite meditation. Reconditioning the body to a new mind. I'm like, it's right there, I gotta grab it. Reconditioning the body to a new mind, Joe Dispenza meditation. You can get it on his website. It's like drjoe.com, or just Google Joe Dispenza, reconditioning the body to a new mind meditation. That is unlike anything else I know to help heal your body. I'm a nurse, so I have lots of options, but my passion is my spiritual job. Yeah, so find something that combines your skills as a nurse and spirituality. There's lots of new holistic clinics out there. Like, be open to receiving information on something that would be aligned for you. That's the other thing. It's like often we get caught up in this, like, oh, there isn't anything out there, or there's only this, right? It's only this way. It's only this way of being. It's like when we just simply open ourselves up to, like, okay, here's what I'm calling in. I want a job where I can incorporate my love of spirituality and my passion and my purpose work with these other skills that I have that are nursing, right? So universe, deliver it to me, show me what it is. When we simply just open ourselves up to being willing to receive alternatives, they then have the ability to show up. Mantras or commands we can sit into to release attachment from the cloaking spell. I mean, all of this stuff is really interesting. For me, the most powerful thing in releasing attachment is the deconstruction of the programming, like deconstruction of the programming, releasing our emotional conditioning, like doing the deep work that we do in Ouroboros. And so that's, you know, for me, it's like that's the power. It's actually doing the deep work. It's actually excavating the stuff that's holding us back. It's creating that new foundation that you can build upon, because it's the old foundation that's attached to the spell, right? So when we get rid of that, then they don't have power over us. They don't have control over us. Any further comment on, I think you meant to say Odin's illusionary rune. I use it. I don't know what you mean by any further comment. Odin's illusionary rune is great for cloaking and protection, but you do have to be careful with it because it's a really, really powerful rune. But it's good to like carry on your devices. I have it on my computer. I have it on my phone. Definitely. Yeah, I mean, so I have a lot of friends that do like, not a lot, but I have several friends that do like candle magic and they'll use it that way. I have friends that will draw it onto things, like onto their computer. I just have it as a image on my computer and I have it as an image on my phone. I know a couple of people that have actually drawn it onto their technology or onto their devices. I haven't found a need for that. I've literally just popped it in my phone, like as an image. No, Odin's illusionary rune is not a good rune to have tattooed on your body. That one actually, like, big warning on that. And there are a lot of runes that aren't appropriate for tattooing. So it's important to, like, you know, if you're going to be working with runes, it's really important to get a good understanding of the power of them and understand the system under which that they were created. The book that I really love, I'll show you. Interestingly enough, it's disappeared. So I guess that means I'm not meant to share it right now. I hope I didn't leave it somewhere. Yep, I don't have it, so not meant to share it. I did just get the Fehu rune, the wealth rune, tattooed on my finger. Definitely want to research and learn about the runes before you start tattooing them on your body, however. What was the image you said to put on the door? Our Lady of Laredo. Our Lady of Laredo. She's a saint. Dark chocolate. I'm starving. Yeah, unilomes, spiritual. I think it's 2 T's. Let me look at my Our Lady of, yeah, 2 T's. Here, I'll put it here in the comments for you. Our Lady of Laredo. Okay. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure to share some time with you this morning. I hope that you took a lot away from this. I really hope that you'll go evaluate where you're out of alignment with yourself, get those lists made where you're settling, and start tackling that stuff and see how much that opens up things for you. I will be back on Friday at let's see what time. I will be back Friday at 9 a.m. Bali time with day 4. Make sure you've registered, and you'll get all the details on that, plus the replays of the last 3 days. So have an amazing day, morning, evening, wherever you are in the world as you're watching this live stream, you're watching the replay. And remember, it is your divine birthright to be wealthy. If you are ready to up-level your wealth repatterning and truly create wealth alchemy in your life, come join me in Ouroboros. I would love, love, love to have you. The link's there in the comments. I will get the payment plan updated here shortly. And I think that's it. So, mwah! Farewell.